When you look at some of the other quarterbacks in the league that have really good receivers, Sam Darnold's getting JSN the football. Prescott's getting Lamb and Pickens the football. Stafford's getting Nakua and Devontae Adams the football. Jalen Hurts is not getting Brown and Smith the football. I feel like their play caller, Matt LaFleur, really struggles with understanding his personnel. And he's trying to build an offense that he wants rather than build the offense that's actually conducive to winning football games with this football team. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the CEO Sports Show for November 11th, 2025. And on today's episode, I'm going to be reacting to Monday Night Football between the Eagles and the Packers. Before we get into the episode, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. So let's start off with the Eagles. I want to talk about their performance in this game last night. First off, I got to say, shout out to Vic Fangio. The Eagles defense is going to turn a corner and they're going to start to play some really, really good football. This acquisition of Jalen Phillips, is he going to look as good as he did against the Packers? I don't believe so. I think, part of that was the adrenaline rush from making your debut, but I don't think he's going to play that far off of that. And that's the type of piece that they needed on this defense. They returned Nolan Smith, and then I think they returned Nakobe Dean as well. I'm not sure if this was his first game back, but I know he's back on the defense. He's flying all around the place. So if you're looking at this team from a defensive standpoint, there's legitimate reason to be optimistic. And obviously we know what Vic Fangio can do when he has the type of talent that he now has with this defense. And I think going forward as a team, I think that the Eagles should build around this defense. Like, Vic Fangio is the best defensive coordinator in the league, in my personal opinion. Like, it's him and it's Mike McDonald, even though he's not a defensive coordinator, but he's a play caller, head coach. Those are the two guys to me, and Brian Flores is up there, but I would give it to Vic Fangio. What he's doing, what he did against the Packers was incredible. What he did last year was incredible. Like, if you're the Eagles, you need to be building around this defense, not this offense. You should build the defense up, and then the offense should just be complementary to the defense to the point where, hey, if they're going to only allow 17 points a game, can you get us 20? And they're going to win a lot of games doing that because of how good this defense is. But if I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I'm just not sold on this Eagles team. I'm just not. And it starts with the quarterback. Jalen Hurts. Do we have to keep pretending that Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback? I mean, what else do people need to see? This guy, over the past 3 years, we've seen it. You ask him to do more, and he plays worse. When you ask him to do as little as he possibly needs to do to win games, you can win games. But what is that? Hey, an occasional throw down the field because they're playing cover one because we're running the ball so damn well. He could do that. He's an NFL quarterback. Congrats. He can throw the ball down the field when he's facing favorable coverages. But when you ask him to pick apart a defense surgically, on time, hit your back foot, hit that dig over the middle of the field, he is not a quarterback that can consistently do that. People are talking about this guy as an MVP candidate before this game. Not me, because I knew that was absolutely ludicrous to even put him in that type of conversation. And when you have the type of pieces that he has, I expect better. He's not getting his receivers the football. When you look at some of the other quarterbacks in the league that have really good receivers, Sam Darnold's getting JSN the football. Prescott's getting Lamb and Pickens the football. Stafford's getting Nakua and Devontae Adams the football. Jalen Hurts is not getting Brown and Smith the football. Those guys, when he throws the ball to them, are bailing him out for bad throws. That touchdown pass that he had, that was a bad throw. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That corner should have came up with that. But because Devontae Smith is an absolute gangster, the dude came down with the ball. This dude is not that good of a quarterback, man. We talk about Bo Nix every week about how poorly he's playing, but the Broncos find a way to win. Does that mean Bo Nix is a good quarterback? No, not at all. Daniel Jones is winning with the Indianapolis Colts. Are Eagles fans trying to tell me that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback after, 5 or 6 years of completely burying this guy? Stop that. Jalen Hurts is an average quarterback, but that's all this Philadelphia Eagles team needs to win football games. They need a quarterback that's not going to turn the ball over, that'll get his receivers the ball down the field. And when I mean down the field, it's vertical shots. This guy isn't throwing posts and those type of throws over the middle of the field or corner routes or stuff like that. He's not doing that. This guy's throwing go balls. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm just so unimpressed with him as a quarterback. I'm so unimpressed with that offense. The reason why the offense isn't playing that well is because of Jalen Hurts. We talk about the coordinators all the time. With Jalen Hurts, we talk about his offensive coordinators. He is the only quarterback in the league that I feel like you know the offensive coordinator's name because of him not playing well. How long is it going to be before we just look at the guy who's been the quarterback for 3 years now and say, he's not that good? We said this a few years ago with Brian Johnson. Why are they running the ball on 3rd and long? Because they don't trust him to get the ball to his receivers in those type of down and distances. Same thing with Kellen Moore. Can we not do this revisionist history thing where Eagles fans act like they were high on Kellen Moore? I remember. I was around during those times. They had a lot of criticisms about Kellen Moore as well. And we're seeing it with Kevin Patullo right now. I don't know. Is it the coordinators? Because they keep getting coordinators in and out, in and out. It's the same result. Jalen Hurts plays at an average level. That's just what it is. And I think the quarterback's performance is affecting the rest of the offense. And the reason why I say that is because Saquon Barkley cannot run the ball effectively this year because he's facing loaded boxes at a really high rate. And last year, could he get away with that? Sure. Because Saquon Barkley had one of the best running back seasons I've ever seen. But when you're coming off a season where you have 450 carries, you're going to run into problems. He's not going to be the same guy that he was last year. He's not the same guy. It is what it is. Running backs age. It's just like every position. But with the running backs, when you age, it comes quicker. And I don't know. When I look at this team, when I look at the Eagles, there's no way that you're telling me that they're better than Seattle, LA, or Detroit. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that this team, come playoff time, is going to beat any one of those 3 teams. And I don't think it's far-fetched to say Tampa might be better. I think Tampa could beat them in the playoffs. I know they had the bad loss against New England. But, again, I'm not walking away from this super impressed with the Eagles. I don't think the Packers are that good either. Everyone tried to sell me on the Packers at the beginning of the season. I'm like, no, we're good here. We're good. I'm good. Yeah. Let's see if Jordan Love can actually play consistent football week in and week out. Spoiler alert, he hasn't been able to do that. All throughout the season, he hasn't been able to do that. Jordan Love is what he is. He's an inconsistent quarterback. And we saw that against the Eagles. And that's the main reason why they won this game. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not as high on this team as a lot of other people are. I get it. They're winning games. They're finding ways to win. Seattle does not find ways to win football games. Seattle blows you out of the building. The Rams blow you out of the building. Detroit blows you out of the building. Philly doesn't do that. I don't know. I'm not impressed by it. I'm not impressed with the lucky wins and the, hoping that other teams make mistakes to win games because that's a lot of times. 2 of their games, easily 2 of their games, they should have lost. You're talking about the Cowboys game in week 1 where CeeDee Lamb had uncharacteristic drops. Talk about the LA game where they blocked the field goal. Right there, if that happens, you're 5-4 at that point. Nobody's talking about you as a Super Bowl contender. We're seeing you for what you truly are, which is a team that, to me, they're the 2023 Eagles. They're the 2022 Vikings. They're finding ways to win games. Do I think it's sustainable? No, I don't think it's sustainable. I think this team is going to struggle to, find a way to win games here come playoff time because you're going to be playing teams that execute at a high level. They play Seattle. They're not winning that game. You think Jalen Hurts is going to be able to read those defenses with Seattle? with their blitz packages and the play caller that they have, and that Seattle offense, they'll dial up Philly's defense, at least to the point where they win the game. I don't know. If I'm an Eagles fan and I'm looking at this performance, I'm not walking away thinking very highly of this football team. I'm just not. Hey, quick break. Thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure to go check out the rest of the shows on the Crutchman Media Network on the homepage of the CEO Sports Show. And let's get back to the episode. So I want to move on to the Green Bay Packers and their performance against the Eagles the other night, and more so my reaction and where I think this team is going. The Packers are frauds. They are. I mean, look, I like their defense. Their defense is really damn good. Their offense, to me, is baffling. And the reason why is because the play caller and Jordan Love right now are just not on the same page. Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love are not on the same page. Jordan Love is playing inconsistent football like he's played his entire career. This guy is up and he's down. He's way too streaky to win a Super Bowl with this guy. When you talk about the quarterbacks for the Green Bay Packers, he's not even close to the same tier as Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. But if you were to ask me who his game reminds me of more, it's Brett Favre. It's not Aaron Rodgers. But I don't think Jordan Love is nearly as good as Brett Favre was. And when I look at this offense, I get it. The receivers are not that good. That's a choice by the Green Bay Packers, by the way. The Green Bay Packers made it a point to say, okay, we're just going to draft a bunch of receivers that are actually wide receiver twos, and we're just going to scheme it up and try and scheme all these guys open, and Jordan Love's going to get them the ball. The problem is Jordan Love cannot consistently get his guys the football, and that is a big-time problem. And it's also a big-time problem that I feel like their play caller, Matt LaFleur, really struggles with understanding his personnel. And he's trying to build an offense that he wants rather than build the offense that's actually conducive to winning football games with this football team. Like, I don't understand it. You have personnel that I think you could be effective with. Why don't you scheme it up like that? Why do you want to be a football team that you're not? I think it's going to cost the Packers in the end, if you ask me. I really don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. That's where I'm at with the Green Bay Packers. I remember, by the way, at the beginning of the season, I said I wasn't sold on the Green Bay Packers. I said I wasn't sold on the Green Bay Packers. And I got slandered for that. And to be honest with you guys, I would appreciate an apology for that. This is the team that I saw all season long. They're a team that hits really high highs, but their lows are just way too low for me to depend on them. There is rarely consistency with this football team. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys as well. Let's just talk about this since we're here. The Cowboys won the Micah Parsons trade. We know that, right? I know PFF is going to credit Micah Parsons with 50 pressures from this game, and they're going to give him a 95 grade from this game. But then, here's my thing to PFF. Stop condescending to people. We watch the games. We know what Micah Parsons is. He is a guy that when he's playing mediocre to below average teams or bad teams, he's going to rack up the sacks. But when he's in these games against the best teams in the league, he will always do what he does, and that's not show up. 0 sacks again for Micah Parsons in a big game, which takes me back to this trade from Dallas. They won this trade. I mean, in exchange for Micah Parsons, they got Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark. They also got a first-round pick from Green Bay. And I know people at the beginning of the season were saying, oh, well, that pick is going to be like a second-round pick for them. I don't know if the Packers will make the playoffs, guys. And if they don't make the playoffs, you're talking about the Cowboys being able to draft 2 top 20 players in this draft, add Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, and the salary cap space that they're now going to have from this Micah Parsons trade, not paying him $47 million. They're going to have that cap space. They're going to be able to really improve their roster. And this move, the Micah Parsons move for Green Bay, I said they better win a Super Bowl with him. Now, we'll have to wait and see what happens, right? The story isn't written yet. But don't get it twisted. I'm holding them to that standard. If Mike Himes and Dan Orlovsky are going to go up there before the season and say this move makes them a Super Bowl contender and actually legitimately pick them to go to the Super Bowl, then I'm holding them to that standard. That's the standard I was told to hold them to by a bunch of football fans at the beginning of the season, all the condescending Packers fans that were like, oh, this move, Packers fleeced the Cowboys. I don't know. I said, wait and see how this thing plays out, and we're seeing it play out. Parsons, another no-show in a big game. And again, the PFF heads are going to come out here and tell you, actually, no, he was actually really great in this game. I don't know. I didn't see it. I saw a few pressures. Sure, I know Micah Parsons can pressure the quarterback. Can he get the job done? Can he finish the sack? Oh, he's getting double teamed. You think Myles Garrett doesn't get double teamed? You think some of these elite edge rushers that actually get up there near 20 sacks don't get double teamed? Come on now. What are we doing? All these guys get double teamed. Micah Parsons is not exclusive from that standpoint. All of the great pass rushers get double teamed. But when I look at this team as a whole, I mean, look, I look at this Packers schedule. I want to go over this thing. I'm not saying they're going to lose all these games, but I don't think there's many like lock wins here, right? Like they play the Giants. I think they'll win that game. The Vikings, the Lions, the Bears, Broncos, Bears, Ravens, Vikings. None of those games are definitive wins for them. I don't know. I mean, when I'm looking at this, I think they'll beat the Giants. I think they'll split with the Vikings. They'll win at home and they'll win on the road. So that's 2. I think they split with the Bears. They win on the road. They win at home. That's 3. And then I'm looking at the rest of their schedule. Denver, I don't think they're... You think Denver with that defense is going to let Green Bay move the ball on them? I don't see that. You have the Ravens, who are now starting to find themselves because they have one of the very best quarterbacks in the game. I don't think they're going to beat them either. So when I go down the West, I got a win at New York. I got a win against the Vikings, loss to the Lions, win against the Bears, loss against the Broncos, loss against the Bears, loss against the Ravens. I see them winning 3 more games. They're 5-3-1. They're going to be 8-8-1. And they're going to have... The Cowboys are going to have the 17th pick for them. Wow, what a trade, man. What a trade for the Cowboys. Because I saw people online, oh, well, the Quinnen Williams trade, when you look at the Quinnen Williams trade, it's just the Cowboys are moving up 15 to 20 spots in the draft. Like, that's not extremely valuable. Teams give up first-round picks to move that high in the draft. In the first round, you talk about the players. I mean, there's a very high possibility that the Cowboys will probably have a first-round grade on their board come the Packers pick. In the second round, there's no first-round grades on your board. So, I don't know. The Packers have a lot to siphon through here, and they're in a bad spot here.